You gotta let go of shame. Shame of what you said, shame of what you did, shame of what you thought, shame of who you are. Let go of shame. I like this way of thinking, so I'm gonna continue to say this. But if I was the devil, I would make sure that you were thinking those shameful moments on repeat, making you small, making you doubt yourself, making you stay put in a box where the devil is comfortable with you staying. The way in which I believe I continue to beat the devil is because nothing is staying and dwelling inside of me for long. I write out my thoughts, I feel my feelings, I talk about it to my family and friends, I speak about it out loud in a podcast for everyone to hear, just to make sure that it's not staying stuck in my body. I am taking the power away from the devil, and I am standing strong in who I am because I got 1,000 reasons to do so, and that is a conviction that I have created for myself. I believe that now, but I haven't always believed in this. I have talked to you about my shame. I am ashamed of how I was talking about sex as a kid. I am ashamed of cheating and other disloyal behavior. I am ashamed of some of the beliefs that I've had. I am ashamed of times I was pretending to be someone I am not to fit in a space that I didn't belong. I am ashamed of my body count. I'm ashamed of the way I talk to and about my parents. I am ashamed of how I treated some of my friends. And I am ashamed of how selfish and unreliable I have been in my life. But no more. Teal Swan, a world-renowned American author and spiritual influencer, says the following about shame. Shame is worse than guilt. Guilt is believing that one has done bad, whereas shame is believing that one is bad. Those of us who are conscious of what our own childhood did to us are well aware of just how damaging that belief can be when it is carried on to adulthood. Again, shame is worse than guilt. Guilt is believing that one has done bad, whereas shame is believing that one is bad. Those of us who are conscious of what our own childhood did to us are well aware of just how damaging that belief can be when it's carried on to adulthood. Shame has the powerful way of keeping us in a place and doubting our ability to move forward. If you stay stuck in the past, the devil has complete control over you. But maybe you don't believe in that. Then it's just you. You're holding yourself back. You are making sure you stay stagnant because you're afraid to leave your comfort zone. You're scared of the unknown, and you don't believe in the abundance the world has to offer. You're making yourself stuck in a destructive space where you're not healing, not growing, not creating forward momentum for your life because of pride, because you're ashamed, and because you're not just releasing the weapon by saying the scary thing out loud and allowing it to leave your body. Remember that man created scarcity, but God created abundance. And this is something that I have also made my conviction. If this is true, then I expect abundance, then I attract abundance. I think that there was times in my life where I had a limited mindset because of the societal norms that I had grown up living under. Of course, that's going to impact how you feel. But the more I got into reading the word in the Bible and actually understanding the powerful tool that it is in helping you move through life, I am also no longer doubting that I am deserving of greatness. And it's because of this narrative that I have built and created in my head and actually started to believe. Because I do believe that we attract what we are actually believing of. Like if I don't believe that I am worthy of abundance, then I am also not going to attract abundance. But when you start to see yourself in the center of something fantastic, everything that you ever could possibly dream of. And I'm not necessarily talking about like monetary resources or physical things that you have in your possession, but the kind of people that you're surrounded by, the kind of life that you're living, the kind of things that you get to experience with people, and all of the love that you get to experience, laughter, fun moments, when you can create these moments of just complete and utter joy where you're surrounded by people that you love and things are just complete and utterly joyful. Those are the moments worth fighting for, and those are the abundance that we can all attract. When we are surrounded by people that not envy us or try to create some sort of like status that looks good on the outside, but is actually genuine when the cameras are not around, the kind of conversations where you get to be raw and honest with your friends and they are not meeting you with judgment, but they're actually 100% on board because they see greatness in you too. They're not threatened by you. They actually just want to see you succeed and see you find the path that is the most fruitful for you. But we are living in a culture that people are envious of each other and is stagnant from and feel threatened because someone else's success feels threatening to us, But we can start with ourselves. We can start to take one step back and just recognize that our success is coming. And just because someone else is experiencing it doesn't mean that I'm not going to clap for others so that they surely will clap for you when it's your turn. Does this resonate with you at all? Or do you think thoughts like, bad things always happen to me, or I'm so unlucky, or something as simple as, why me? Why you? Let me answer that with like a broader perspective. I believe there are two types of people in the world. It's the victim and then there's the victor. Both people are having a human experience of going through pain, suffering, a level of trauma, experiencing discomfort, grieving, heartbreak, loneliness, insecurity, bullying in any way, shape, or form, joy, excitement, hope, love, unfairness. It's happening to all of us in various ways and times of our lives. And what defines you is what you do about it. A victim will say, this happened to me, so therefore I am. I was beat up and abused as a child, therefore I have depression and anxiety. A victor will say, this happened to me, so I am going to learn from this and use it as fuel to become a person that I love and respect. A victim will dwell on the past and let it control the present and their future. A victim stagnates their own growth. A victor learn from the past and pave the way for their own future, taking accountability and responsibility for their own future. A victor creates forward momentum. The difference between a victim and a victor is that one is using their past as an excuse to stay put and stay exactly where they're at, and the other one is using it as fuel to create more forward momentum. One is passive, one is active. One is deeply unhappy because they're staying in place and not experiencing the true joy of creating a sense of accomplishment and actually achieving something, whereas the other one is more likely to see the success that they so desperately want because they dare to take risks and get out of their comfort zone and try harder, even when it is painful. And even when it is scary. So who do you want to be? Do you want to be a victim? Or do you want to be a victor? People don't like to hear this because they have to give up control and pick up this odd and uncomfortable baton of responsibility. It's up to you. It's up to you who you are. I have been a victim many times in my life, and it always made me feel miserable. When I started acting like a victor, I could tap into my strength, my bravery, my masculine and feminine energy, not to mention my discipline, because I made myself accountable and responsible for who I am and who I want to be. No more blaming my dad for why I didn't love myself. It is my responsibility to love myself. No more blaming certain people from my past for how I turned out. If it wasn't for those trials and tribulations, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I love who I am today. So I am thankful for all of you. I'm grateful for everything because I'm exactly who I am because of it. This is a helpful mindset to have because you can't change your past. You cannot undo what makes you feel shameful about yourself. It's done. You can forgive yourself for allowing certain situations to unfold. You can forgive yourself for the things that made you feel shameful. You said a mean comment and someone you love got hurt. Deal. Forgive yourself and ask for forgiveness. You got super drunk and embarrassed yourself in front of a lot of people. Deal. Forgive yourself and take note of how to avoid this again in the future. You did it again. You got too drunk and now you find yourself sleeping with your friend's ex-boyfriend. deal. Take responsibility, be honest, own it, apologize, learn, and don't fucking do that shit again. Be better and forgive yourself. You can't control who else forgives you. Someone may never forgive you. So you have to do it yourself. Move on. You lost a friend because of reckless behavior? Own it. Deal. Forgive yourself. If you are placing your peace in someone else's hands and actions, then you may stay lost forever. If you can only get better for someone else to do something in your life, then you're placing power in hands that certainly do not deserve it. If you're waiting for someone else to do something for you to feel good about a situation or something that you did, you are no longer the one who is in power of your life because someone else has that power. Take back power, let go of shame, and just own it. Being ashamed is keeping you in place. These are real life examples for me. Terrible to admit. And I am not thrilled about this part of my story, but there's that. So what am I going to do? Sit back and feel bad for myself, pity myself because my friend didn't want anything to do with me anymore? No, I looked myself in a mirror and established two things that day. I want to be loyal and I want to be honest. It took me a few years to admit that what I had done. I lied first because I hadn't even admitted the truth to myself yet. I was trying to undo what had happened by pretending like it didn't. In reality, I was just lying to my best friends for closely 20 years, which is insane. The lie was eating me up and I couldn't let it go. And I felt completely and utterly disgusted by myself. And when I finally admitted to her 2-3 years later, she didn't want anything to do with me anymore. I wasn't loyal and I wasn't honest. And it was my responsibility to change that. And I decided this in that moment when I told her the truth. Because secrets are just too heavy to bear. And especially the ones where you're in the wrong. Especially the one where you know that even though they had absolutely nothing to do with the reason why things unfolded the way that they did, they still got hurt. And I cannot but pretend like I'm now responsible for hurting another person. Because I am, even if I never meant to. It doesn't matter. This isn't a sunshine story where being honest rewarded me with forgiveness. Till this day, we don't have any interactions with one another. And I need to recognize that I might not ever get that forgiveness from someone, and you might never get that forgiveness from someone else. So you have to move on. If you're willing to be waiting for someone else to do something, say something, or understand something, or recognize something in order for you to move on, then you're placing power over your life in the hands of someone else. Don't be a victim. Be a victorer. Create forward momentum for yourself. Owning up to your lies does not translate into forgiveness from someone else, but it does teaches you to do the right thing. Because once I vowed to myself that I was always going to be honest, the dumb shit that I do just decreased drastically. Because being honest to someone about something you know will hurt them sucks so much. It is the most humbling and gut-wrecking, uncomfortable situations I found myself in. And I knew that I don't ever want to feel that pain ever again. And therefore, I don't want to put myself in situations where I have to lie. Then I'd rather just promise myself to be honest because I will keep the bullshit to a minimum. I knew her, so I knew I was going to lose her. And I had made my peace with that when I told her. I had to fully let go of her power and influence. I knew it was over and I had to choose between being a lying friend and keep her in my life or being an honest friend and respectable person but lose someone that I have known my whole life. And to be honest with you, I didn't believe that we would recover from this. And I knew that my peace was on a very down low at this point. Like I really did not feel peaceful in myself, so I decided to choose me. I chose to get closer to being a person that I wanted to be as opposed to staying in shame and lies and in stagnation. I needed to move forward and to release all the tension from my body. I know the crazy part, although I love her and I miss her dearly, it's like I felt a tremendous sense of peace once I said, and it was done. I knew I was becoming someone I respected and that felt great to me, so I felt a sense of relief. Because the lie was off of my shoulders now and I could live truthfully from this moment on. By being an honest person who vows to always tell the truth, you'll be a better person because you won't put yourself in situations that makes you lie. Because it hurts so much more, both to keep a lie inside and to tell the truth out loud. It hurts so much. You don't want to be in that situation ever again. You'll act accordingly. You'll be a respectable person who doesn't lie, who is just telling the truth. Heck, you'll be someone that you respect, and you'll attract people who are like that. Truthful, honest, and loyal, not to you, but to themselves too. Who do you want to be? The lie-keeping, shameful victim or the truth-telling, respectable victor? It's up to you. I strongly encourage you to take responsibility, to take accountability. Be honest, be loyal, stay curious, and get to know yourself better. If you want to come share your version of how your attachment style manifested itself in your love life, please email me on maxmindset@gmail.com. I can't wait to hear from you.